Hey guys, Sean, Less Lethal for Dummies. It's the weekend, right? Time to test some CO2. Quickly before I get going, a couple of things that may come up while I'm doing this test is utilizing this buttstock as an expansion chamber. This is quite a large space. Something I learned back when I was doing some similar tests with my Humorex, my HDP 50, I found when I had an expansion chamber screwed in the back of it, a 12 gram was not sufficient to volumize the chamber, and I actually saw a reduced velocity and reduced shots. So that may come up. I wanted to mention my pepper ball on off. As good as it was, it crapped the bed. And I already spoke about the gauge calling it quits on me. And then shortly after, there's an O-ring that goes right inside this. This actually comes out. There's an O-ring that sits right in there. It had swelled and had pushed out of the side of this on off. Now, I pulled the gauge. It is not 1/8 NPT. I tried with a 1/8 NPT gauge. I tried with a 1/8 NPT plug. I tried with an M10 gauge, which is the metric equivalent, offshore brand, and it didn't fit. So I don't know what thread is in this side of this. Unless I'm doing something wrong. It could be straight thread. It could be like BSP or something, but I doubt it. I very much doubt it. So that's out of commission. I had it a while. It worked good. Don't know why I can't just put a regular gauge in it. And the O-ring's not a big deal. I mean, I can switch that out, and it had been charged for numerous times over a long period of time. So, O-rings do fail, especially when they're crammed with CO2. But enough with that. M17, 8-inch Lapco 684. I will be shooting Grimberg Jewel V2s. They are 8 grams. I think I have, I don't know how many's in here, 6, 7. 12 grams to start, and then I will be switching to the 16 gram with the adapter, and we'll see how it does. Previously, the 12 gram screwed directly into the back of this has always fired fine, and I can't recall what it's shot, so we're gonna do it again now. Oops. And that would be a waste of CO2. I forgot to tighten my ESA adapter. Oops. It's not leaking now, but. $286. $270. $260. $244. $232. $200. And the whole adapter unscrewed. We're gonna have to pause briefly while I go reset that, and then we'll do the 16 gram. All right, I wasn't really happy with the results. It would have been skewed. So I went and got another 12 gram. I have tightened my ASA adapter into the buttstock, and there was actually, I didn't realize there was a little O-ring in there, much like the PRV has, that was sealing, and when I tightened down and I guess thought it was tight. It really just had snugged up against that O-ring. So I removed the O-ring, threaded tape. If I'm going to keep this, I think I would probably use some Loctite there because I wouldn't want that sort of action to take place while you're kneading the marker. So I'll just put my adapter back in here. And yeah, and I just noticed I've had a few comments about where I get these adapters. All this stuff I get from AliExpress. I will put the link to these two particular adapters. So this 12-gram one that I'm using, you can find them at like Ann's Gear and MCS, but I'll put the links to where I got mine. And I'll also include the link for this 16-gram adapter. All right, try this again. Much better. 8-gram joules. Again, there are 8 in here. This time I counted. And I looked back at the video actually while I was doing this, my original one. This is still set up in a version 1 bypass. So I have the brass orifice installed in here. And my opinion is it's his best case scenario if you're going to use CO2 is to leave that brass orifice in there. That's more of an HBA thing. That orifice acts like a nozzle and tries to filter out the liquid CO2 as you've seen through some of my tests. And I may add one in here as per a conversation I've been having with Marcus. Probably squeeze a little disc between my adapter here if this doesn't work out. I mean, I am always of the mindset simplest is best. So if I don't need to add anything, I will not add anything. All right, shot number 1. With the 12 grams screwed into the back of the marker originally, and the version 1 bypass, it shot 328 feet per second, about 40 joules, and it held 6 shots above 300. So we'll see what it does with this buttstock attached. Definitely lower results, and I attribute that to this large chamber. This 12 gram is 12 grams is not big enough to fill this chamber efficiently, but we'll continue testing and see, does it improve the expansion, the efficiency of it. The spread was actually much closer there. See if that continues. 278, that was more in line. CO2 usually goes about 20 FPS per shot. Last one, I think. Results weren't what I expected. May have to actually try without the brass orifice, at least in this configuration. Next up is going to be 16 gram adapter. So it's just a ESA thread, which is like G half 14, I think is a thread. So I'm just gonna pre-thread it in there. I got oil all over my hands here. There we go. Threads in just like that. Threaded cartridge works in the same manner that adapter does. You just get it started till it's gets taut, like that. So I kind of just let it spin in my hand. That way I know it's in there. First time using it. Not as quick as this guy. This guy pierces really fast. A little bit of practice might work in my favor there, but profile is much, you know, shorter than this guy, obviously. There are options here. You can get threaded 12 grams, which would be even shorter than this. Ideally, I'd like to do away with this long adapter here. The supplier for an adapter that would eliminate this was Palmer Pursuit, and apparently they're shutting down. So whatever inventory they have is all they got, and unfortunately they're sold out of the real adapter that I wanted. So let me load up some joules and then we'll go again. All right, now they're 8 loaded up there. 304 would be the number to beat in this setup. 16 gram. Three 14. $2.96. 284. 272. 260. 246. 234. That was the last one. Should be one remaining. I mean, I guess the beauty of something like a setup like this does leave an opportunity to have maybe an external heating device. It's quite easy for me to just warm this CO2 up in my hand. Something to think about anyways. Let's put a couple more in there. Let's just see, yeah, let's put a couple of 3.7 grams in. Okay, well, I got 8 3.7 gram right balls. So these are just solid nylon balls. Give her another squeeze. I should mention, this has the critical situations bolt spring in it, so that may or may not affect the velocity with a CO2 setup. I don't think it's been tested enough to really say. It does cut my velocity with I run lower pressure than most of you guys. I only run about 8 to 900 PSI as opposed to the regular 1100, and I do notice, I think it's like a 10 FPS drop. All right, she's warm. $392. Remember, those are the light ones. 370. I'm just gonna bang them off. Definitely only get one mag with the 12 gram. 16 gram, given, oh, there's that extra one. Given enough time in between and me warming it, I was able to, you know, get another mag off. It's tough, guys. You know, if you're just shooting for consistency, CO2 is not gonna be your answer. And I'm not done yet. I'm gonna play with some of those things that I said, like adding some stainless steel wool in here and the such. I also have some HBA filled cartridges that I would like to try. But for now, you be the judge. Is CO2 adequate for you? Well, I've showed a 16 gram can at least work. Now, granted, very first time, I will be shooting more, and I'll definitely report back if there are any issues, but you saw it when I was firing those other larger canisters. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as you engaged them and fired one shot, marker was done. The O-ring either slipped or it spit out. So you guys didn't think I was gonna leave you hanging, right? Version 2 bypass, brass orifice remove. Repeat, 12 gram first, 16 gram after. Only this time I'm going to use my TIPX mag. It holds 11, it'll shoot 10. Does it do better? .304 was the tops with 12 gram in this current configuration. Interesting. I did talk a little longer last time. .274. .266. Oops. .256. This is very interesting results here. .242. .230. .216. 198. I would consider anything below 200 not really useful, but we're gonna keep going. 180. 166. That was a full 10 shots. Should be one remaining. But that was very interesting, and I'm obviously gonna have to do way more testing to see if that's repeatable. There we go. So no brass orifice. I actually had lower velocity, but the drop in between was only 10 to 12 feet per second. And like I said, generally speaking, that drop is 20 feet per second. So was it the chamber? Was it the orifice? So many combinations to try, guys. I don't know if I'll be able to try them all, but nonetheless, that's the results. So I'm gonna put in the 16 gram. Which I didn't bring out. Alrighty then. Let's see, will the 16 gram behave the same as that 12 gram just did with the version 2 bypass? So I have the joules already loaded up in there. I'm just gonna thread in the cartridge here. Snug it down and give her a crack. I'm gonna try to just do it maybe like this time, see if I can get a little faster on it. Man, it was pretty good. I think the first time I just didn't snug it down quite enough. All right, 314 I think was the number to beat with the brass orifice. Higher or lower? What do you guys think? I don't know. I think that lower 12 gram, personally, I think was probably because I talked. and that's where that little bit of boost came from, allowing this gas to, or liquid, to expand and warm up. Rate 10, about the same as it was with the orifice. .292. But that spread is staying about the same. 260. See, that's only a drop of 10 feet per second. Again, 12. 244. Just gonna warm it up a little, and then I'm just gonna shoot it quick. While I'm holding it and warming it up, it would appear that having the expanding chamber has allowed the gas to expand, and when I say the spread, I mean the drop. So CO2, when you shoot it, it's diminishing. It always starts high and then slowly clicks its way down. Now, previously in the M17 and my FSC and my VKS, anything pretty much I've shot with CO2 aside from the TMC, but even it has a drop, but behaves much more like this is right now. Those other markers is 20 FPS, like every time, almost to the T. So having this stock has improved efficiency ever so slightly. Does it make CO2 still useful? Well, you're gonna have to be the judge of that. But I haven't blown an O-ring yet. All right, good enough. Let's just bang them off quick. Let's call it done for now. That was it. Should be one left. One there is. And you know what? Because my trap is working so good with the meat curtains now, I'm gonna put some more light ones in there. Ooh, fucking thing. 3.7 grams. I'll just do one over the chrono, and then I'm gonna just rapid fire. We need 14. Yeah, it's kind of low, but that's what's remaining in my 16 gram. It wasn't a whole lot, actually. Come on. There we go. Sometimes that little push button, gotta kind of get it started there. Well, I'm not arguing for or against CO2. I'm really just trying to find something that could definitively work. It's been that kind of day, guys. It really has. I guess I'm gonna have to try 90 grams stuffed in like that and see if the O-ring won't survive. But I mean, at this point, 12 grams, 16 gram, they seem to do just fine in the M17. I'll test the 16 kind of in the ASA, directly in the ASA, probably tomorrow. But I think for the most part, I'm probably gonna leave this as a V2. I'm gonna just leave that brass orifice out. Didn't seem to make a difference with the 16 gram. Well, you could argue I actually did get less shots on the 16 gram than I did originally, but leaving that brass orifice out allows me just to go back to HBA just as quickly and not have to worry about any diminished results. So yeah, that's it guys. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, and comment. For God's sakes, if I'm doing something wrong or questions, complaints, concerns, that's what the comments are for. I always try and answer every comment, and if I don't, it's probably because I didn't see it. I'm out of here.